Hello friends and welcome back to Picture Astrology. In the series of planets through various houses, today we will learn about Jupiter's placement in the first house for a Sagittarius Ascendant. So when you have Sagittarius as the rising sign, that means the ninth sign is rising and Jupiter will also be placed here. Now this is one placement which is extolled and considered very lucky to have by all the ancient texts of astrology, and it is so in actual practice, in practical experience, that has been found to be true as well. However, there are still some areas of life where this Jupiter can cause certain amount of delays. So we will learn all the positive as well as negative effects of this placement in next few minutes. So we have a Sagittarius Ascendant horoscope, meaning the first house in the horoscope has the ninth sign or Sagittarius, and Jupiter is placed in the same sign. Now Sagittarius is also the Mool Trikon sign of Jupiter. So Jupiter here is very strong. And this placement is always extolled or considered very auspicious by almost everyone. And it is also correct in many ways, because Jupiter represents bliss or happiness, or you can also call it that it shows the good karmas of your past lives. So when such a Jupiter is in the first house itself, it shows that the person gets many things without much of an effort in his or her life, because they are receiving the benefits of the good karmas which they may have done in multiple previous lives. So this definitely is a auspicious position, and it also is considered as one of the Panch Mahayogas, and more specifically in the Mahayoga it is called Hansa Mahayoga, or a swan. Now swan is considered in Vedic culture a bird with a lot of wisdom. Swan, there are anecdotes where it is said that swan can distinguish, or if you put milk and water combined in front of swan, he will drink all the milk and will leave all the water apart. So swan is symbolism of wisdom, and so is Jupiter. So definitely this placement of Jupiter, needless to say, is very lucky. However, there are still two clear areas where this doesn't work as most of the astrologers believe. You would believe that it will make your life easy and it will make it easy in all aspects of life, but two very important areas of life are seen to have caused a lot of delays, and we will talk about those two areas. We will also talk about other areas of life where you can expect your luck to work and work freely. Now, as always, before we start the analysis, let's see all the houses which this one placement of Jupiter is going to affect. So first of all, the very first house, because Jupiter is placed in the first house and it is also the lord of the Sagittarius sign. Secondly, Jupiter owns the sign of Pisces, which falls into the fourth house of this horoscope. So definitely the fourth house areas will be affected. And Vedic astrology assigns special aspects or drashtis to every planet, and Jupiter has an aspect on the 5th house from itself, 7th house from itself, and 9th house from itself. So all these three houses, 5, 7, 9, will see the effects of this Jupiter here. And also Jupiter represents your spirituality, your spiritual process, your relationship with the elders, etc. So those will be affected as well. So all these many places or houses will have a direct impact felt because of this one placement of Jupiter, and we will look into these one by one now. So let's first talk about the very first house, because it is one of the most important houses or reference point in your horoscope, and it shows your physical, mental personality as well as the general life. So firstly, Jupiter is one of the mature or old planets in the zodiac. The most oldest and most mature looking would be Saturn, and Jupiter is second to that. So when this strong Jupiter is in the first house, the personality is a mature looking. People will have still some kind of magnetic attraction. It will not be a boyish charm. Mercury would give you a boyish charm, young looking personality, whereas Jupiter will give you a sincere, robust and little bit mature or more than your actual age, but still there would be some kind of a magnetic attraction because Jupiter is a planet with highest gravitational pull after Sun. Jupiter is also the planet of wisdom. So these people would come across always as someone who say right thing and do right things all the time. They have a special, inclination towards being considered right or being considered ethical, moral all the time. They will have special regards for their elders. They will always be polite towards them because Jupiter is in the first house, and it shows your mental personality as well. And finally, it will be very easy for them to gain weight. Jupiter, as you probably know, is a gaseous planet. It is a huge, the biggest planet in the zodiac. All other planets can accommodate inside one Jupiter, obviously apart from Sun. And when you have such Jupiter here, it becomes easy for you to gain weight. Now remember, the tendency to gain weight will reduce if some planets, say like Saturn, has an aspect on the first house. Otherwise, people with this placement can gain weight easily. However, it's not a position which shows the highest amount of weight gain because Jupiter does show a plump personality, but the fiery sign of Sagittarius is not very conducive to accumulate fat. Fire easily dissolve fat, so you can also say that they have a tendency to gain as well as lose weight easily. Now let's move on to the fourth house affairs, which generally signifies your mother, your landed property or immovable property, your home, your education, etc., even vehicles, and how you use them, what kind of happiness you derive. So generally speaking, from the fourth house perspective, this is a wonderful position. People with this placement do get a very learned or caring and loving mother, and they are also very devoted to their mother at the same time. They get usually they are born in a family who has a good tradition of education. Their parents, their ancestors, they all would have great regards and respect for learnings and education, and they themselves follow the same suit. So this placement is known to give people who have specialized knowledge, like doctors, like lawyers, even astrologers or astrological knowledge. Having Jupiter in the first house is a big blessings for that. But especially because Jupiter is in a fiery sign, Sagittarius is a very fiery sign, so they tend to respect practical knowledge a lot rather than just the theoretical knowledge. So if they would be more likely to be one or the other professional, like doctors, lawyers, who work in the real life. If they are astrologers, they would be astrologers who will love to predict events. They are not someone, who would just give high level readings about your nature, your character, etc. They are someone who would really love to pinpoint an event and say, okay, between this and this date you will get married, and so on. So this will be visible and applicable in any aspect of the life. They would have great education and they would love to apply it in practical purpose. So overall, as far as 4th house affairs are concerned, it's a wonderful placement. Now let's talk about two very important aspects, children and spouse, which are related to the 5th and the 7th house respectively. What does this Jupiter say about it? Well, first of all, lucky or good is always a theme, as you might have seen by now. And it is true, they do get spouse and children who are, somewhat like them, full of wisdom, who loves education, etc. But formal marriage with this placement is always delayed, unless there are other combinations in the horoscope which can expedite the marriage. Generally, the marriage, takes place after or around 28 years. Because Jupiter is a slow moving planet, and even though it is very well placed, it will give great spouse, it will give a good married life, but there will be delay in getting a spouse. And this delay is more pronounced in case of women's horoscope rather than men's horoscope. I will talk about the reason sometime in a Jupiter video. Now about children. So Jupiter is the Karaka or primary significator of kids and the 5th house, and it has a direct aspect on this 5th house. So what does it say? Again, not a problem with children, they will get children, but first of all, delay in getting a child is possible, and second of all, they might worry about their kids a lot. It could be about anything. It could be about their education, it could be about their health, it could be about their behavior. They tend to behave, in a very finicky or extra caring manner about their kids, which they need not to, okay? This placement of Jupiter is known to bless you with a happy married life, happy family and good kids, but invariably you will see that people would just keep on worrying a lot about their kids. So this is one of the personality traits which this placement induces and needs to be taken care of. So my dear friends, this was my quick analysis of Jupiter in 1st house for Sagittarius Ascendant. I hope you liked this video. Please do like, subscribe and share the video, and thanks for watching, and see you again soon. Bye bye.